welcome. And today I'm going to talk to everyone who are considering themselves as professionals in the dog world, whether you're a dog trainer, consultant, like specializing in behavior, maybe grooming, doing any kind of dog sports, dog walker, anything like that, or if you want to become one working with dogs. If you are new to Nordic Dog Trainer, I am Lisbeth. I'm the founder of Nordic Dog Trainer, and I'm here in Norway, in Scandinavia, and I'm just outside Oslo in the south of Norway. Now I'm just going to give you 7 good reasons, at least 7, that's what it's on my notes, for why we should all continue learning. We should always do that, no matter if you're a hairdresser. I would say maybe especially a hairdresser. You know, my hairdresser, she always goes to some kind of course to learn the latest, fashion or way of cutting or a new method of doing things. I presume it's for most crafts out there and jobs. If you're working with cars, repairing cars, or cutting people's hair, or being a dentist or a doctor, there is always things happening in your industry that you should be aware of, and you might also need to learn new ways of doing things. So the way I personally see it is that it's clearly it's something we need. It's an investment, but it's something that kind of comes with the territory. When I was working as a teacher, I was working many years as a teacher here in Norway, both at high school and at the university. And for the teachers, we had to go twice a year on different kind of courses to update our knowledge. So when I started Nordic Dog Trainer, if you attended any of my webinars previously about how I started my company, you know that the first year I started by doing classes, dog courses, and one-to-one consultations in my own garden. So I started out very small, part-time, and it was next to another job I had. So when I started out, I was just finished with Turid Rugaas dog trainer school. That was approximately 1.5 years education with Turid, but that was only the beginning. I felt, now I have the basics. Now I need to learn more. So I decided when I set up my business that the first year, everything I earn is going to invest back to my own knowledge, not to the company, but to me. So I needed more skills and better skills, and I needed more advancement. I needed to be good at what I'm doing, right? So I see that as an investment. So that's what I did the first year of my business in 2011. I spent everything I earned, after, of course, paying tax and all necessary things that you need to pay. What was my salary? I reinvested in myself so I could go to lots of seminars and courses. And that was, of course, that was before COVID, and we were able to travel. So I did quite a lot of traveling to attend courses, in-person courses and seminars, and online. And I continued doing that always. For every year I had a set amount of money. I decided how much time and how much money I was going to reinvest in my own knowledge, because I want to be good at what I'm doing. So I need to continue learning things. Now, as my company grew, I've been very fortunate that I'm actually attending all the webinars and the seminars in person and online that our customers are getting, or our students are getting. So I kind of get a lot of free learning that way. So I've attended Amber Batz's aggression course in person twice, and then a couple of times online. So I've done all of them many times now, and I need it because I don't remember everything after just one time. So it's perfect. It's one of the perks being your own boss. So now it's cheaper for me in the sense that I only spend my time learning, not that much my money. In the beginning, I also had to invest money. So, obviously we know it's good to learn more, but I also have to add that I got to know so many nice people when I was attending webinars and seminars, in-person seminars, both. You can do this online as well, get to know new people. But of course, in that sense, it's always better, I believe, to be in person. It's just a different thing. It's a whole different thing when you meet in person, right? So, but I met a lot of people that I am now um, working with. And it opened doors for collaborations. And also, they were teaching at Nordic dog trainers courses. And it's thanks to my participation in different courses and seminars and getting to know a lot of people that I um, build, the what would you say? Um, they're not all my colleagues, but I build, you know, um, I'm trying to find the right word. Friendships and a base of, and tribe isn't really, I don't really like the word tribe, but anyhow, a set of people, a group of people that I could talk to, that I got to know. We were discussing, we are discussing still, of course, dogs and dog training and everything. So for me, building my business, that was also very important. And I have to say, if there's any Americans here, you are so good at doing that, connecting with people. I think this is my personal opinion. Americans, we have Europeans have a lot to learn from Americans. You're very good at introducing people and yeah, networking. That's the word, networking. So that's really one of my strong advice is if you're working with dogs and if you have your own company, your own business, it's a lonely job. It really is. No matter if you're working with dogs or as a hairdresser, it's always a lonely thing to be running your own business, a small business. It's a lonely thing. So having a group of people around you, a network, is important. And apart from that, of course, going to seminars and courses and what have you is also giving you more knowledge and a chance to learn more things, new things beyond what you already know. And you might learn new methods and new ways of training dogs or walking dogs or whatever, grooming dogs. Um, However, just be aware that this environment, when it comes to dog training and in the dog world in general, it's a little bit like raising children. There are so many ways of doing it, and we are curious. And maybe you have, FOMO, afraid of missing out on things. So I think it's natural that we want to explore different methods, different ways, listen to different speakers, different dog trainers, different professionals, but also know when enough is enough. Because at some point you have to decide what is right for you, what kind of methods are right for you. Because purely there's so many different ways of training dogs. Um, and you need to find what feels right to you. Hopefully, that's ethical dog training, hopefully. But there's so many, still so many, surprisingly, I have to say, old fashioned, not very ethical ways of training dogs. Um, so whatever you do, make sure not to confuse yourself by for years and years just you feel that you need to explore everything. At one point, enough is enough. And I did that in the beginning. Of course, I did because we are curious, or you should be curious. It's a good personality trait to have to be curious and to want to learn more and different things. But at one point, and I can't remember exactly when it was, but then I thought, oh, enough now, because I know I kind of figured my way. I kind of, felt this is okay, this is right for me. This feels right for me. This is how I want to treat my dogs. This is how I want to train my dogs. So it felt right. And then now people are sending me films or they're sending me text or showing me what other horrible dog trainers are doing, whatever. And I don't have the need to see it anymore. I know it already. I've seen it. I don't have to see it anymore. It's not for me. I know people are doing different things. Okay. So you decide when enough is enough. Because if not, you're just confusing yourself. And you honestly, I think we're wasting our time and money because we don't have to learn everything, right? Not everything. So the more you learn, the better, the more skills you get, of course. The more skills you have, the more confident you get. Same thing with dogs. Even small things as actually going to an in-person seminar where you don't know anyone. It's kind of, you know, could be scary to travel, maybe even to a different country, to get on a plane, to book a hotel and to meet with people you never met before. It's kind of scary, but believe me, it helps you grow your confidence too. So it's part of 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 the whole package. And if you are a business owner and if you want to be successful, you have to go outside your comfort zone. It's a given. You cannot grow your business if you don't want to go out of your comfort zone. The secret is to find how much you can, cope with at the time. I'm not saying that we should do things that we can't cope with doing, but you have to gradually move out of your comfort zone. So maybe you want to start with, attending something online and then something offline in your area or in your country, and then you can, go to some other countries or something. It's all up to everyone how we do that. Um, so number 3 on my list here on my notes is, of course, making the connections. It's great for meeting other people in the same field with the same interest. We always get very excited when we are attending a seminar in person or online. I can't remember the exact numbers now because the sad thing is that when we come home or when the seminar is over, it takes very little time. We're talking days and hours until the excitement is kind of, very quickly just going away a bit because we're not in the same surroundings. We're not there with the people anymore. But so the secret is to keep that excitement and to do something about what you learned during the seminar immediately once the seminar is over. And that could be just spending the next week rewriting your notes from the seminar. If you're attending an online seminar, you should always take notes, of course, because that's the best way of learning is to make your own notes in your own words. And then you can get a new book. I always, when I attend a seminar, I love notebooks. That's my thing. So I have a nice new notebook and then I rewrite my own notes. And the way it is that my brain is then, of course, a couple of days later, able to remember what I learned, and it sticks in my brain for much longer than if I don't. So also to keep in touch with people you meet on the seminar will keep your excitement and your learning and everything you discovered for longer. If you just cut off and go home and just don't do anything more about it, the whole feeling from the event is going to disappear very quickly, unfortunately. And this comes with not only in the dog world, but any kind of event. I read a very interesting article about that a couple of years ago because big companies are doing that for their employees all the time, you know, to educate their employees or to do social some social meetings or something for them as an incentive and to get inspiration and motivation. But it's very soon to, you know, to just die when the event is over. So it's our responsibility to do something about your investment because you invested time and money for this. Okay. Okay, number 4, learning different ideas. So seminars have speakers from lots of different backgrounds, and this means trainers get to hear lots of different ideas and ways of doing things. And that's the thing, that's part of the learning experience because no one is, you know, exactly the same. So it's even for our students at Nordic Dog Trainer at the dog trainer school, we have different teachers. Okay, it's on purpose, of course, um, because no, not because, but the different teachers, the teachers that I asked to teach at our dog trainer school, we all have the same basic, um, the same basic view on things, right? But we explain it in different ways. And it might be confusing, but that's also part of learning. It's like when you go to school, you have different teachers and they tell you pretty much the same thing, but in different ways. And then you get different angles and a little bit of different opinions. But still, it's, you know, the ethical part of it is still there. I am not employing teachers who would teach something that I don't think is ethical to do with dogs. So that's part of the learning experience, and we need that to get more um, ideas and to see things in a bigger picture. And we don't know that until this is something you don't know until you know it, okay? Studying in an international environment is expanding that so much more. And I learned that when I was 19. I went to a hotel school, an international hotel school in a different country with people from all over the world. And what we learned at school was exactly what you would learn at a hotel school in Norway. But the input you got from the teachers from different countries and from students and your colleagues and then, you know, new friends were very, very different. So I was studying with people from Qatar, people from Africa, well, Qatar and Africa, the Middle East, Africa, Australia, you know, all parts of the world, very different cultural background. And we were learning the same thing, you know? But there's so much more to it. So really, if I had children, I would definitely have them go to an international school. Because it's the international environment. It's different cultures. It's bringing so much more into your learning experience. But you don't know it until you know it, right? So it's just one of these things. I can't, you know, I could talk about that for hours, how important it is you know, personally and professionally, but you just have to experience it, I think. Okay, number 5, solving problems. So trainers learn from other experienced trainers and other people you meet at the seminars. You talk dogs, all things dogs, and you learn new ways and you get new ideas, basically. So you pick up a lot of new things that weekend that you wouldn't have if you were sitting at home doing nothing. And of course, keeping up with the changes. So getting to know what's going on when it comes to dog training and behavior. There's a lot of new um, studies out there, science, get up to date on what's happening, what we learn about dogs, science-based learning, what is the new research, and so on. That's very interesting. And it will definitely give you um, a lot of advantages, good advantages for your competitions who are not doing this, who are just, sticking to the same methods and the way of training they've been doing for years. And unfortunately, this is something I see a lot when I look at websites and promotion from other dog trainers. That's also part of my job to help others promote their websites and so on. There's nothing new. They just, on their CV is like, okay, I was trained to be a dog trainer in 1987 or 1997 or 2007, whatever, and nothing after that. There are so many of those, and when it comes to, choosing a doctor or a dentist or a hairdresser, you will go to the ones that are up to date on what's happening in their own field, right? So they know about the best ways of, treating the disease or cutting your hair. That's two very different things, but, they're both important. So same thing goes for dog professionals. If you're dog walking, grooming, you can improve your business dog walking. When you learn, the more you learn about dogs and behavior, and maybe even problem behavior, you will improve your dog walking. You will get better walks with your dogs because you know more. And then you will get more clients, happier clients, a good reputation, people that will, that's the best marketing, by the way. It's always been and will probably forever be the best marketing you can get is your customers talking good about your business and yourself. A happy customer is your best marketing. And you stay excited because you learn something new, and it's, just getting the impulses of meeting new people, learning something new. It gets you just, blood flowing a bit faster, hopefully, and gets you excited and wanting to learn more. And that's, again, if you're a curious person, be curious. If you're not so curious, you have to learn to be, or you're missing out, I think. You definitely are losing out on both customers and yourself, your professional and personal growth. So I'm all for being curious. So find your passion, find your group of people, find your tribe, and the training methods or the way you keep dogs or groom dogs or walk dogs, and you have the direction that feels right for you and for your gut feeling. Don't confuse yourself by mixing old and new approaches, listening to all kinds of, different variations on things. There are different ways of training dogs. There are different ways of training recall. Um, and there isn't necessarily one fits all. So, of course, this is what you learn more of something within the what can I say, the area or the place that you feel comfortable being in, that group of people, that group of teachers, those schools, like there are a lot of different dog schools out there, dog trainer schools. And I certainly see that we Nordic Dog Trainer have a lot of common with another couple of good dog trainer schools out there. So we are kind of teaching the same, and I could easily recommend other dog schools to people. And then there are schools that I wouldn't recommend. So you find where you fit in, where you feel comfortable of being. Try not to suffer from, a FOMO of missing out. Plan ahead, plan your year. plan your budget and plan your time for it. I think you should go to at least 2 events every year. If possible, one online and one offline. That's what I think. That's what I think for myself. So that's my advice to you. Of course, if you can attend more, that's fine. But you also have to run your business, right? And you should take what you learn and start practicing it as well. So there's enough of those just attending things, just to get the certificates. There's a lot of people that collects, certificates of attendance, and they're very good theoretical on what they do. But practically, maybe not so much, because they don't spend the time actually doing the practical bit, actually practicing what you learn. So that's also very, very important if you really want your investment to pay off. Okay, that's what I had to say about that. At least my notes said the end. So I see there's many different seminars online and in person out there now. You probably know how the algorithms works on social media. So Facebook, Instagram, wherever you are, they know what you like. So they will give you in your feed more of what you like. So my feed is, of course, full of stuff about dogs. And the new thing now with AI, what they're getting even better at, Facebook, is to suggest new groups and so on, new pages and new groups for you to follow that you didn't even know about. So just being on social media, because that's the question, where do I find all these webinars or seminars? That's not that easy, I have to say. But that again, it's because you need to start attending something and get to know people in the industry, and then they will start sharing and you will learn more about where you can find these seminars. In Norway, there are some Facebook groups where you can share these kind of things, but you have to know about them. So someone have to tell you about them, right? They don't market them themselves, so you don't know it until someone tells you about it, unfortunately. So ask around, see what's out there, and decide what you want to learn more of. And do the investment in yourself. Yeah, very important. And what else? That's it. That's it for now. Yeah, that's more than enough. I promise you, it's more than enough. I put in a lot of different things, I know, but they're all relevant for everyone who's working with dogs. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. And go out there, be curious, plan ahead, set a schedule, set a budget for yourself, and decide how much money you want to invest in yourself and your business, because that's eventually what we do when we are educating ourselves, isn't it? And it goes, now I'm talking about dogs, you have to, of course, um, learn more about dogs and dog trainings, whatever you are doing. But also, but that's another life, you should also invest yourself in learning how to market your company, maybe even how to do the accounting and these kind of things when it comes to practically running your company. But that's for another life. Okay, so bye.